Welcome to the online classes of anatomy. Today I will talk to you about the submandibular region. The submandibular region includes the deeper structures between the mandible and the hyoid bone, including the floor of the mouth and root of the tongue. The structures are the suprahyoid muscles such as the anterior belly of the digastric, the posterior belly of the digastric, the stylohyoid muscles, mylohyoid muscles. Then the hyoglossus muscle, the geniohyoid muscles, and most deeply the genioglossus muscles. So these are the muscles present in the submandibular region. And apart from this, there are two salivary glands, such as the submandibular salivary gland and sublingual salivary gland and its ducts, that is known as the Wharton's duct and duct of Reginus. This also contains the lingual nerve, the hypoglossal nerve, the lingual veins, the lingual arteries, and most important is the submandibular ganglia, which is a parasympathetic ganglia having secretomotor fibers from the facial nerve coming along with the cauda tympani, then lastly joins the lingual nerve and supplies the submandibular salivary gland and sublingual salivary glands. This also cauda tympani nerve also has taste fibers arising from the anterior two-thirds of the tongue and passing through this cauda tympani nerve, which is joined into the lingual nerve. The muscles are the digastric, the anterior belly and posterior belly, and this forms the boundary of the submandibular triangle. The anterior belly arises from the digastric fossa of the mandible and passes backwards and downwards to the pulli, whereas the posterior part arises from the mastoid notch of the temporal bone and passes downwards and forwards to form the intermediate tendon. These two intermediate tendon passes through the pulli. Anterior belly is innervated by the mandibular nerve, mylohyoid branch of the mandibular nerve, where the posterior belly is innervated by the facial nerve. The function is to elevate the hyoid bone during deglutition. Another one, when the hyoid bone is fixed, then it depresses the mandible, such as in the wide opening of the mouth. The stylohyoid muscles arising from the posterior surface of the styloid process passes forwards and downwards to be inserted over the junction of body and the greater conum of the hyoid bone. It bifurcates to encircle the intermediate tendon. Another one is the mylohyoid muscle. Mylohyoid muscle arises from the mylohyoid line. Mylohyoid line present over here inside. From here, the fibers passes downwards to be inserted into the body of the hyoid bone, as well as anterior and intermediate fibers passes medially to be inserted in the median raphe of the formed by the opposite side of the muscle. The mylohyoid muscle forms the floor of the mouth and it elevates the floor of the mouth and also the hyoid bone. This muscle is innervated by the mylohyoid branch of the lingual nerve. Mylohyoid branch of the mandibular nerve. Then another muscle is the hyoglossus. arising from the greater cornu of the hyoid bone and also from the body of the hyoid bone, passes medially and upwards to be inserted into the base of the tongue. Base of the tongue. This hyoglossus muscle is innervated by the hypoglossal nerve. Hypoglossal nerve. It also causes elevation of the mandible, elevation of the hyoid, and also it causes depression of the tongue. Depression of the tongue. Another muscle is the geniohyoid. The geniohyoid muscle arises from the genial tubercle, inferior genial tubercle of the mandible, to be inserted into the body of the hyoid bone. Geniohyoid also raises the hyoid bone. When the hyoid is fixed, it depresses the mandible. Then the muscle is the genioglossus, arising from the superior genial tubercle of the mandible, and it is a wide fan-shaped muscle to be inserted into the base as well as the mucous membrane of the tongue. It causes protrusion of the tongue. Genioglossus is innervated by the hypoglossal nerve. So these are the muscles. The salivary glands are the submandibular salivary gland, which is a J-shaped structure indented by the mylohyoid muscle. So it forms a superficial part and a deeper part. From the deeper part, the duct of the submandibular gland arises, that is known as Wharton's duct, which opens beside the frenulum lingui on a papilla, and the submandibular salivary gland is a mixed gland, but it is predominantly serous gland. Weight is about 15 to 20 gram. Another one is the sublingual salivary gland. This is also a major salivary gland, and it weighs about the 4 to 6 gram, and it lies above the mylohyoid muscle. It is also a mixed nerve, but predominantly mucus. Predominantly mucus. It opens by several ducts into the sublingual fold. Here lies the sublingual fold, where it opens by several openings. That is known as duct of Rivinus, but it may open into the Wharton's duct also. So, the submandibular ganglia, although it is a parasympathetic ganglia, but it also carries sympathetic fibers arising from the facial artery. The sympathetic plexus around the facial artery arises the sympathetic nerve, which passes along the submandibular ganglion. The sensory part arising from the lingual nerve to supply the anterior 2/3 of the tongue. So this is about the submandibular region. The applied anatomy is when there is injury of the spine of the sphenoid bone, there is injury to the cauda tympani nerve as well as auriculotemporal nerve. So the cauda tympani supplying the submandibular sublingual, whereas the cauda tympani supplying the parotid salivary gland. So there is loss of secretion from the all major glands. In Carcinoma of the tongue. The lymphatics passes to the submandibular lymph nodes, which is present superficial as well as in the substance of the submandibular salivary gland. So this has to be removed in malignancy of the tongue. Sometimes a stone may develop in the Wharton's duct and the submandibular salivary gland that can be filled by manually, and it should be removed. So this is about the submandibular region. Thank you.